Postmaster, fellow guests, welcome. When I was 12 years old, my dad called me into his office and said, "Sit down, I want to talk to you." My dad doesn't do that. He's a nice guy. He's gentle. I don't ever want to hear you say a derogatory term about another person. All human beings deserve love and respect. You see, I called my cousin Bobby a queer, a quiff, a fag. 30 years later, it's a hot summer night in Chapel Hill. It's late. And I'm going to make a decision that will subject me to derogatory terms. I was afraid. I was scared. But I need to have the authority to do it. Pulled out my wallet and I took out a credit card. And I knew that when I gave the cashier the credit card, that forever, electronically, the world would know when I gave. It was a gay bar I was going to. And my parents didn't know I was gay. My fear was that something might happen in the bar, and they would find out, or something would happen to me, and they go through my records would find out. Think back last week to Orlando, to the 49 people who were killed. How many parents did not know that their child was lesbian or gay or bisexual or transgender or queer? How many parents do not know that some of their children who were in the hospital from that horrible incident are LGBT or Q? What do they feel like? What pain in your heart? In the discovery, plus the massacre. It is hard to come out. It is not easy. It is painful. It's a difficult challenge. Times are changing. Things are better. It's easier today. But it's hard. It's especially hard for minorities, for blacks, for Latinos. Forget about it if you're Muslim. It's a hard transition to make. Radio station KOVR, a CBS station in Sacramento, California, recorded Pastor Roger Jimenez saying at his sermon at Verity Baptist Church, "I wish the government would round them all up, gay people. Put them up against the wall, bring in a firing squad, and blow their brains out." Then there's the likes of Kevin Swanson, pastor who shared the stage with Republican candidate Ted Cruz a few months before in Iowa. And he was merciful. He says, "I think before we kill the gays, we should allow them a moment or two to repent." Now, not all pastors are bad. This morning on my Facebook, I posted this quotation, and a person I know, Christian pastor, said, "This makes me sick, pastors like him." Think for a moment, if you are a parent and have a child who is LGBTQ, and they're coming out, and you don't know it, and you attend a place of worship like the Reverend Jimenez led. What must you think about your children? What if you're a kid and you go into a church like that your parents go to? How would you feel? The Center for Disease Control reports on their website that students who were questioning their sexual orientation reported more bullying, homophobic victimization, unexcused absences for school, depression, and suicidal behaviors, more so than their straight, heterosexual, or other LGBT folks that were out. I wonder too, with Blue Hill, the bar I went to, what if my parents found out that I was there? I was lucky though. I was reading. A lot of gay authors at the time were writing on the process of coming out, and one was Paul Monet. He wrote in his book on becoming, he's, quote, "Gay and lesbian people who have fought through their self-hatred and self-recrimination have a capacity for empathy that is glorious, and a capacity to find laughter in all things. There's a kind of flagrant joy that goes very deep in all of us." I wasn't self-recriminating, I wasn't self-hating, but I was afraid of my parents finding out. I was afraid my friends and family would find out, and I would lose their love. But lucky for me, when I told them, you know what they said? "Well, George, we knew all along." "Oh, thank you. Why didn't you tell me?" It would have saved me a lot of anguish, you know. But as I said, times are changing. Bruce Drake, a senior editor at Pew Research Center in 2013, shared these findings. While society as a whole is becoming more accepting, 92% of LGBT adults still report discrimination. Opposition to same-sex marriage remains substantial. Religious belief tend to be the major factor. 45% of American adults, potentially half of this room, believe that homosexual behavior is a sin. 3 in 10 LGBT adults have said that they felt unwelcomed at a place of worship. Muslims, Mormons, Catholics, fundamental or evangelical churches were the worst offenders. Non-evangelical Protestants and Jewish faith were much more welcoming than the others. According to Pew, 1 in 5 adults would be very upset if they found out that their child was LGBT. Now, the good news is that according to the Los Angeles Times, in 1985, 64% of adults said they would be very upset. Times are changing. Americans who say homosexuality should be accepting has increased over the past 10 years from 47% to 60%. The numbers are changing. But folks, those are just numbers. They're facts. They're figures. They don't mean a lot. What means a lot is the damage that is caused when people are coming out. And what I would like you to be able to do is that if you know a colleague or a friend or family member, a child or your spouse even, who is coming out, be there for them. Accept them as they are. Be like my dad. Treat all human beings with love and respect. As the great prophets have said, love one another. It's a